Welcome to Misery Sports Co., where we quantify heartbreak and track the human cost of sports.
That's right. Our unpaid analysts, interns, dig into organizational choices, unexpected collapses, and the slow erosion of fan hope.
Last week, we examined the Milwaukee Brewers, a team whose off-season hype promised triumph, but delivered tension, frustration, and just enough heartbreak to keep fans awake at night.
Today, we'll evaluate the latest organizational missteps, strategic misunderstandings, and the resulting damage to fan confidence.
But first, a brief interruption from our first sponsor.
This segment of the Misery Sports Co. podcast is sponsored by the Washington Wizards Traveling Goal Show. Hey, are you having a hard time meeting that big lofty goal at work? Can't meet those already unreasonable expectations? Well, now you don't have to, because the Washington Wizards will get you there themselves. That's right. Pay the Washington Wizards Traveling Goal Show to come show up at your work, and they will look so horrendously bad by comparison. Before you know it, you'll have 50, 60, maybe 83 sales, and no one will know how you did it. But get on this deal quick, though. The Wizards will only be this bad for the next decade plus. So order now.
Thank you so much, Washington. Never change. For those who did not see it, Bam Adebayo scored 83 points for the
83.
Miami Heat. It got to the point, and I looked at as many highlights as I could, where Miami in the last 6 minutes, they were like intentionally fouling. They were feeding Bam. And
So
Washington
ridiculous.
was triple teaming him, and he still got fouled. He still got points.
Yes.
It wasn't a basketball game.
No.
It was a battle of pride, and Washington lost.
Yes, they did. An exhibition to see if they could break Kobe's 81. And by golly, they did. So congrats to them.
Well done. And thank you, Washington, for the sponsorship. We will take your money.
Mm-hmm.
Time for the weekly performance review.
Each week, we review organizations on execution, leadership decisions, which are always terrible, late game strategy, and the psychological consequences for the people who still buy the tickets. So, Zach, what do you got this week?
All right. So we'll briefly touch on actually both of our teams, the Browns and the Titans, very quickly. So we've both of our teams have signed some free agents. I couldn't tell you a single thing about any of the free agents that the Cleveland Browns have signed. They signed some offensive linemen, which makes sense. Joel Bitonio, our left guard, Hall of Fame career. He has officially retired as of today.
Man. Congrats to him. What a career.
Yeah, he needs to leave. I feel bad for him. He suffered for far too long. God bless you.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share something, and I sent it to you this week. It was ESPN. They were doing winners and losers for free agency, and they actually paired our teams together, and they said losers, Cleveland Browns, Tennessee Titans. Here's a quick blurb. Perhaps it's unfair to lump two of the worst teams in the AFC together. They both got better Monday, in part because it would have been hard for them to get much worse.
Oh my God.
I just have a lot of questions about their day one additions, which were more curious than inspiring.
We're trying our best, okay? What do they want? What do they want us to do?
I don't know. We're just along for the ride, Trevor. I mean, maybe it'll end up with a playoff appearance for one of our teams. I don't care. I'm rooting for it.
Not gonna be mine, but
it's not gonna be mine either. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. More to come with the draft. We'll definitely discuss that. We'll have to have a break room at some point to
yes.
talk about the NFL draft.
Yes.
Wanted to go across the pond. So
Ooh.
one of the bright spots for me is Arsenal. So Arsenal is at the top of the Premier League right now. They're holding on. Got about a 7-point lead on Man City, but Man City has one game in hand. If you don't know, a win is 3 points. So, Man City could climb, and Arsenal has historically blown this every single season. So
This season.
we're gonna
This
see.
season, though.
And something that's interesting, and it is slightly connected to us, Tottenham Hotspur, they are 1 point from relegation. They're currently at 29 points. West Ham is at 28. 28. So
oh, that warms my soul.
we've got some friends that follow Tottenham. Adam. I also have Logan that follows Tottenham. So
sorry, Logan.
We're dancing with the devil right now. So we need to get out of this spot. But it's not looking so great for Tottenham right now.
You hate to see it.
Trevor, what do you got in your weekly performance review?
Well, like you said, the Titans have been in the news, I guess, because we had the most money to spend in free agency. I think we had around $100 million that we had to spend.
Damn.
So we have been super active. I think we've signed 9 players so far. I can't name not a dang one of them. I know we've signed like, there was like a 45-minute stretch where we signed 3 corners for like big deals. Like they're all going to start. Like we just revamped our cornerback room, which, sorry, L'Jarius Sneed, that didn't work out. He got hurt a lot, but also I don't think it was a great fit. So we're probably going to cut him. We did sign the top defensive tackle on the market. If I had done what I should have done, I would have his name ready. But just to reiterate, I don't know the names of any of these people. But I know
Churn and
that
burn, baby.
the inside of our defensive line is going to be nasty. It is going to be so nasty because you already had Big Jeff in the middle. And now we're adding old JFM. I'm going to say are his initials that I'm totally blanking on. But he was the second or third leading sack getter from all defensive tackles last year from the Broncos. And so we haven't signed any defensive ends. So I'm thinking that's where we're going to draft. Again, we'll have a break room sometime. We'll talk about the draft. But thankfully, they have all been pretty young that we've signed so far. And that's what I'm so tired of paying a 31-year-old wide receiver who you're like, maybe they'll be great for the Titans, and they never are. I'm so tired of it. So let's just sign some young guys who have something to prove. Let's get going. It's going to be fun. So we'll see.
Okay.
Well, hope is high. Hope is high for the Titans. Tomorrow, rebrand, new jerseys. Don't look over here at the dumpster fire of a roster. Look at these shiny new jerseys, baby. So that's tomorrow. We will review those right here in a couple weeks here on MSC. The Stars are still streaking. Last time we talked, they had a 10-game win streak going. They did lose in overtime to the Avalanche, who are the top team in the league. But we still have a 13-game point streak. So that is going well. Zach, I have some fun hockey tidbits for you. So the top 3 teams in the Central are the first place team in the entire league in the Avalanche, the second place team in the entire league, that's the Stars, and the 4th place team in the entire league, that's the Wild. So Carolina's in there in 3rd. To get to the next Western Conference team, you have to go all the way down to 13.
Oh no.
You have to go to 13. So it's like the Central and then everybody else. In fact, the rest of the West is so bad that, as this was tweeted out on March 5th, none of the teams in the entire Pacific Division would have a playoff spot in the East.
Wow.
It's
that
crazy.
And I covered that with the Blue Jackets because they're still 2 points out, right, from the Bruins. It's just like the East is ridiculous. And we could go on. There's probably a whole segment on the NHL playoff rules and how the Stars, have to play the Central again. You have to essentially get out of your division in the playoffs. Stupid. It makes no sense.
Nope. It's so dumb. So we're just battling. Basically, I think we're 5 points behind Colorado. They have a game in hand. We're just battling because whoever is first place in the division gets to play the last wild card team, and you sure would like that instead of the 4th best team in the entire league. So yeah, there you go. Shout out to the Titans and the Stars and not the Mavericks, because I just can't with them right now. So that's where we are. That concludes our weekly performance review.
Okay. We'll keep tracking these developments closely as the season unfolds. But before we head to the mailroom, a quick word from our next sponsor. Do you ever lead a roster full of gold glove outfielders, silver slugging first basemen, and future Hall of Famers and still have no idea whether your team is on to the knockout rounds? Then you need Mark DeRosa's Wait, Where Are We? Dugout Services, helping managers navigate standings, tiebreakers, and which pool they're technically in. Our specialty, turning post-game meetings into live Google searches as the entire dugout huddles over a phone whispering, so, are we still alive? Because why rely on rules when you have this guy leading your team?
Is that true?
Yeah, I misspoke. I was on hot stove with a couple buddies today and completely misread the calculations. We knew that Mexico was going to play Italy and then running all the numbers with if we lost tonight with the runs allowed
No,
and
you
runs
didn't.
scored.
No.
And now,
Liar.
so I just misspoke.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, buddy.
I don't think you did. Oh my gosh. Yeah. World Baseball Classic. The USA should be dummying people. And this guy's like, oh, let's take our foot off the gas because I'm pretty sure we're already moving on. When you're not. It's unbelievable. How does the coach not know?
It's your job. It's like, what, 3-4 games? It's
Yeah, it's
like
not that
hard
many.
math.
Yeah. It's just pool play. Like, just. And there's a scenario where, good gracious. Okay. Italy's winning 9-1. So I think USA's through, but that guy, not because of that guy.
In
not 'cause
light
their
of his
coach. Yes.
stupidity,
Somehow.
they are through.
Yes, they didn't deserve that at all, but we do deserve the sponsorship dollars. So thank you. Thank you for that. And hopefully they get their acting gear and we can all be better for it.
That's right.
Let's step into the mail room, which is now officially open. Of course, we don't actually receive mail. God, this god dang mailroom union now has pretty strict guidelines on what is technically the letter of the law around correspondence, which I didn't know was a legal term with some pretty serious precedent. Fortunately, screenshots from Twitter still count, so let's review some of the files, shall we?
All right. Well, if I take a look, some of the things I found in the mailroom. So one of them was from Mark Stein at the Stein Line.
Love Marks.
This was, I don't know, 5-6 days ago, and it was a really interesting stat. So it was taking a look at the NBA and the bottom of the NBA. So the bottom NBA teams, the top, or I'm sorry, the bottom 10, not the top 10.
Okay.
At that time, when this tweet was sent out, the bottom 10 had combined to lose their last 44 games in a row.
Holy crow.
44, which is incredible.
Jeez.
Absolutely incredible.
Top tier tanking right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great draft class. We've covered that. I mean, it's worth tanking for, but holy cow. I mean, at least try a little bit. Washington's not. We know that.
We
And speaking
know
of,
that.
Christopher London tweeted, the more I see guys have high point games, the more I realize Kobe's 81-point record will never be touched. LOL. And then there was a note on Twitter, and the readers added context. It was touched.
So you have to think you're so safe tweeting that out. Oh man, this will never happen, man. Everybody's in the 70s, but man, super safe. And then out of all people, Bam Adebayo. Are you kidding me?
Oh man. Trevor, what do you got from the mailroom?
Got a couple things. So I have not followed college basketball very closely, which is I would say pretty on par for me. I'm more of a tournament guy, follow Ohio State a little bit, but there has been a fun story. So Miami of Ohio had an undefeated season, 31-0.
Oh yeah.
And somehow they're a bubble team, or they were a bubble team, and we're arguing that like 16-win SEC teams should be getting in over them, which is insane to me. But beyond that discourse, Nick Roush tweeted, This about the scenes after Miami's last game, which was at Ohio University, their big rival, and they let the crowd know about it after. So Nick Roush tweeted, "You just beat your rival in overtime for the first time in 15 years to cap off a 31-0 season. The only proper way to celebrate is to immediately mother the student section," and included a video with all the Miami players going over and letting the Ohio students know about it. So
I saw
appreciate
that.
that.
That's a proper response.
Yeah.
A lot of haters right now.
There's a lot of haters, and they didn't lose a game. This goes back. You know how worked up I get about Florida State a few years back when they got left out of the playoff. I get really worked up about it, so I'm not going to now. But like, you want all the games in front of you. What else do you want them to do? Like, you have to reward them for winning the games on their schedule. If you're mad about their schedule, deal with that in the off season. But we're playing games right now, and they won all of them. So, anyways, my tweet of the week is from Michael Greer, who had some breaking news about one of our favorite players here at MSC. Michael says, "Breaking. Kyler Murray has entered the Vikings facility for his physical. Kevin O'Connell is there to help him up onto the doctor's table." Thank you, Michael. Top tier tweet. Thanks for that.
I hope, I know your team won't, but I hope my team does not win that lottery. Please go to the Vikings. Don't care. Go anywhere.
Yes. Just, we already know it's not going to work. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have very low hope. He is fun to watch run around, but you don't want him dropping back, trying to look over his offensive line.
Yeah.
Well, again, our very unpaid, very internship-based analysts will continue monitoring Twitter for new developments, dramatic overreactions, and the occasional reasonable take.
Before we recognize and go into the Office of Moral Victories, here's another word from our sponsor.
Have something hilarious that you want to yell at a professional athlete, but you don't want to get run or tested? Well, now you don't have to. You can pay me. Hey, I'm Phil, and I'll show up at your sports game and yell whatever you want me to until I get kicked out. Yes, you do have to buy me a ticket. Yes, I will fight anyone who approaches us. No, I am not allowed back in MetLife Stadium after that incident. But whatever you can think of, I'll yell at them. Even ones you slip me and then halfway through me saying it, you regret it. At that point, it's too late. I will move your hand away from my mouth because I am contractually obligated to say it. All of it, or else I cannot collect my fee of $25 and 3 jars of Vienna sausages like the repairman ate in Brave Little Toaster. Call today, 1-800. That guy said it, not me.
There's a lot to process in that sponsorship.
It's just, I want to reiterate to our listeners, that's just a dude named Phil who paid all the sponsorship money for me to read that.
Yeah, and we charge a top dollar for these sponsorships.
We're not making money otherwise.
No. And you know what? Players are just really stinking soft right now. Just let people talk a bunch of crap and just play the game. Shoot the ball, play basketball, Kevin Durant. Like, you don't need to go on Twitter. We don't need you talking to people in the stand. Just run up and down the court and let us say stupid stuff. And laugh when it makes sense or you respect it.
Yeah. I love that take. Listen, you soft let me shout what I want to shout and bounce your ball.
You don't need to stop the game and point at me. Like, stop this nonsense. You're getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. Yep. Someone says something hurtful, just keep going. Stack
it is the fourth 10, quarter. 000. I have had so many drinks. They had to cut me off. Let me yell at you.
Yeah, what do you expect?
Oh man.
Golly. All right. Well, let's jump into the Office of Moral Victories.
That's right. The segment that celebrates teams whose final scoreboards don't tell the whole story, or at least whose press conferences try to spin it differently. I'll kick us off here. I do have an honorable mention for my employee of the week. Shout out to we've talked about him on the show before, but Bruce Thornton guarded Ohio State. Now the Ohio State all-time leading scorer, Big Ten Player of the Week.
Let's
Got
go,
them
Bruce.
to go dancing. How about that? The Buckeyes will be dancing, which sounds crazy. It's been 4 years. Shout out to Bruce Thornton. However, tough week for Bruce to go up against this. This is at the ACC tournament. This is Pitt versus Stanford. By the way, didn't Ohio State lose to Pitt?
Don't want to talk about it.
Pitt's
2 straight
terrible. They
years on
won 12
half-court
games.
shots, Trevor. 2 straight years they've hit half-court
Gosh
shots to beat us.
almighty. I can't believe Ohio State bounced back from this. But shout out to this legend in the stands. This Pitt, I think he's a member of the Pep Band, who is taking an interesting tactic during Stanford, shooting some free throws. See if you can pick up on what they're trying to do.
Held to 3 in the first half.
Foul was Miner's second. Corey hits the free throw despite the presence of the really loud guys singing the Goo Goo Dolls behind us. Not sure how that didn't throw him off. This is some list to be on. Duke, and Duke. Freshman,
He's screaming Goo Goo Dolls at him and was going into like the second verse during that free throw.
That's me in the fourth quarter of those games. Come on, Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant's
shut up.
pointing at him and Sam, he's screaming Goo Goo Dolls at me. We're just giving him the double burns. I don't want the world to see. So shout out to
That's
that
awesome.
legend. You are my employee of the week. How about you, Zach?
Well done. We're actually going to go back. I don't know. It's somewhere between episode 15 and 20 in that general range. We covered Bodo Glimt. And I wanted to provide an update.
There is
and they are
no
here.
way they made it back on.
They are
Oh
here.
my gosh.
Champions League. So they're a Norwegian
Unbelievable.
professional football club. They have no business being in the Champions League or doing this.
Mm-mm.
They're up 3-0 on Sporting CP in the round of 16. So they just had
Wow.
a 3-0 decision. I did a little digging on Bodo. They're good for their, division. They're in the elite Syrian, and they've been first or second place for the last, I don't know, like 6 years at this point. But to go against the best in Europe and to continue to produce is amazing. This is incredible. So Bodo Glimt, well done, employees of the week.
Unbelievable. Bodo Glimt returns. There's some very rich people because there was a market for if Bodo Glimt was getting back on the show on Kalshi. I don't know if you saw that online, but some people just
there
made
were
a lot of money.
bets. It was it was like 2 really large bets. It was
Mhm.
super weird.
So weird. No insider trading here. We'll
Zero.
check. We'll check on our intern. Suspicious. But we're totally above board. Hey, congratulations to this week's employees of the week. Well done.
And before we jump into the deep dive, a word from our next sponsor. Do you ever wake up, look at your phone, and think, why do we do that? Call the Trade Then Panic Advisory Group. We help NFL front offices cancel trades before anyone notices, awkwardly explain it to reporters, and still pretend it was part of the plan all along. Max Crosby? Never happened.
Unbelievable. Of all the franchises to pull that shady crap and use this consulting firm to make us gaslight us into thinking it never happened, of course it's the Ravens.
And then they signed someone literally hours after it, Trey
Mhm.
Hendrickson. Like, come
Mhm.
on. You're
And
killing me.
everybody was calling that move before it happened because we just know what the Ravens are about. Well, anyways, thanks for your sponsorship dollars. And now it's time for our deep dive segment.
That's right. In this segment, we step back from the weekly chaos and conduct a long-term audit of fan investment versus organizational return. Trevor, walk us through the findings.
So I was at roller hockey this week, and I was talking to a guy who's a big Buffalo Sabres fan. And we always give each other crap because he obviously, like all Sabres fans, claims that the Stars Stanley Cup shouldn't have counted because Brett Hull's foot was in the crease, even though there was a memo that went out to the teams that that's not a big deal anymore, and it's fine. I'm not going to get into it here. But he said, yeah, that was a huge sports catastrophe for him. And then he said, yeah, that and Music City Miracle. And I said, oh boy, I'm also a Titans fan. And he was like, wow, you were on the other side of 2 of the 3 biggest childhood heartbreaks for me. That's super cool. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Shout out to Sean, you're a beaut. But he said the other one was Wide Right. And so I thought in honor of him, we would take a look at the Buffalo Bills this week. In our very quick deep dive where we fly through and take a very broad look at some sadness, observe it from a distance, don't take it on too much, and then we put it back. Did you know that professional football in Buffalo goes all the way back to 1915 with the Buffalo All-Stars, which is generic as hell for you go with All-Stars? Yikes. And the next year, they became the Niagaras. Then they became the Prospects the next year. Frankly, I think changing your name every year for 3 years straight is very unstable. That's just me. They eventually become the Bisons in 1924. In 1926,
Getting
then they're
closer.
the Rangers. Yeah, now we're further. So
Close.
now we're further. We said timeout in 27. Give us a break. Hey, we're back in 1929. Immediately folded again after that. But in 1939, they get an AFL team. The Buffalo Indians, which I don't love that one. But hey, then World War II happens, and so that never really goes anywhere. That immediately stops. Fast forward a little bit. It happened.
World War II happened. We shipped everybody out.
Who's
the
gonna
Indians, it doesn't
play?
matter.
This isn't a league of their own situation where we got the wives to come in and play football for us. Like, we got to shut it
point.
down.
Fair
We got to
point.
shut it down. We can do baseball. Okay. It's a great movie. Go watch it. Wonderful. So then football's going to start up again. Hey, let's get the AFL cooking. And Lamar Hunt tells Harry Wismer, guessing Wismer. I'm going to go with Wismer. You can have a team. You have the option of Miami, Buffalo, Cincinnati, St. Louis, Atlanta, or Louisville, Kentucky. What? Bluegrass? He didn't choose Louisville. He chose Miami. And Miami was like, no. You can't play in the Orange Bowl, and there's nowhere else to play. So that's a no from us. And so they went, oh, good. We'll go with our real first choice. We'll go with Buffalo. So Buffalo, charter member of the AFL. They drafted a dude named Cookie Gilchrist, which is dope as hell. Cookie Gilchrist, shout out. Basically, they have sort of an up and down existence. So that was I should have said, this is 1960 now. So they're starting.
Right around the Vietnam War, Trevor. We better watch
Hey,
out.
just listen. You're trying to get me to say that one wasn't as bad, so we didn't have to stop football, and I'm not going to say that. Okay? We didn't make this podcast to rank the wars. So we're just going to keep going. 1960, it's up and down. Let me get to a less controversial part of their history in the 70s where they drafted O.J. Simpson.
We'll take it. We'll take it. You know what? We'll take it.
The noose is loose. O.J. Simpson, electric runner. There's too much to get into otherwise to really
Somehow
talk about his
escaped the
life.
Vietnam War.
Yes, to get to
Brought violence.
yes,
to California.
just multiple homicides. It's fine. So he's
Allegedly, Trevor. Excuse
allegedly,
me.
sorry, allegedly, he's not with us anymore. So I think that we're safe, but he's looking up at us. So they drafted O.J. Simpson. He's the only player to rush for 2,000 yards before they moved to a 16-game season. Did you know that? So at the time, they were playing 14 games, and dude still ran for 2,000 yards behind the Electric Company, which is a dope name for an offensive line. Like, when your offensive line is good enough to get a sweet nickname like the Electric Company, is amazing. Like, so cool. Our offensive line is so bad that we have bad nicknames for them. So to be on the other side would be great. Things got really bad in the 80s. This is a quote from Steve Tasker, who joined the Bills in 1986. He said that, quote, being acquired by Buffalo was akin to being sentenced to prison in Siberia.
Oh,
So that was not just because it's terrible football, also because it's super cold and global warming really hadn't regulated the climate up there. So it was, quite cold. And I'm not taking a position on that. Stop trying to put me in a place where I have to speak on this stuff, Zach. I'm not going to do it. All right. I'm not weighing in on this stuff. Anyways. All right. We've gotten through everything. Our next benchmark, I guess, is the Gulf War, but here we are in the 90s. So they turn it around. They've got Jim Kelly at quarterback. Life is good. And in 1990, they make the Super Bowl only to miss a field goal against the Giants and lose 19-20. No problem. Next year, back in the Super Bowl, baby. Let's go. They lose by 13 points to Washington.
oof.
All right, 1992. They're back. Then they lose to Dallas. They lose 17-52 after Jim Kelly gets hurt. That's rough. 1993. Back in the Super Bowl, baby. This is happening. And then they lose to Dallas 13-20. So, I'm sorry, 13 to, I think it's 13-30. I said 20. I'm pretty sure it's 30. Yep, 13-30.
This is the portion of Buffalo that I remember vividly. It was just like, you could not, for the life of them, they couldn't get over the hump. Like, just one time is all you need.
It's tough. Would you rather, would you trade some of Cleveland's history to have gotten to Super Bowls and not got to the top?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've had our own failures in the AFC Championship around this time, honestly. Like, it was, early 90s or whatever with the fumble and the drive and all that stuff. But to get to the Super Bowl is awesome. Like, there's just a huge celebration.
Yep.
I personally wouldn't trade that for anything, but if you go there 4 straight times and you can't get the job done, that's brutal.
Mm-hmm. It hurts. And it feels like, you got to get there, and I don't know how true it is. Like, oh, the great players, the great teams, they have to lose first before they can go on to win one. Like, I guess that happens sometimes, but like, it could have been true. As a Buffalo fan, you have to be thinking like, we were so close in 90. We got right back in 91. We lost it. We know what it takes to get here. This is going to happen. You lose that one by 13, and then you just get walloped the next year after Jim Kelly gets hurt. Running into some,
and no disrespect,
dynasties.
right? Like, these Dallas teams were awesome. This isn't like
gracious.
like you said, it's not an all-time team this past year, like with the Patriots. I mean, they were good, but they weren't incredible.
Yep.
So that's really frustrating when you're a fan of a team that's really good, but they end up hitting a buzzsaw that's just like these all-time greats.
Yep. So I'm going to do something a little different. I am going to stop it there, and maybe down the road, we will come back and revisit the Bills post 90s to today, because I think that's a different misery than the history before that, which was, again, World War II to the Super Bowls.
Yeah, there's a lot of catastrophes and wars we hit.
Yeah, it was a lot. So shout out to Buffalo Bills fans. You fit right in here. Just know that. You have found a home. It's here. We're happy you're here.
That's right. And that concludes this week's deep dive.
This week's audit uncovered multiple operational failures, several questionable leadership decisions, only limited evidence that anyone involved has learned anything from the experience. I know I haven't.
That's right. Our unpaid staff, interns, will continue monitoring the situation and filing the appropriate reports.
Join us again next week, won't you, after you visit our website, miserysportsco.com, and follow us on socials and download this episode and others at Misery Sports Co., where misery loves company.